what's up? I'm KBHD here, and welcome to the world of PS5 accessories. So first of all, if you've gotten your hands on a PS5, congrats. Seriously, congrats. It's not easy right now. If you haven't gotten one yet, my fingers are crossed for you. Hopefully you get it soon. But once you do get a PS5, it's kind of like a smartphone. You set it up and you kind of want to make it your own a little bit, maybe customize it. So now that I've had the PS5 for about 3 months now, I've sorted through some stuff, not a whole ton out there as far as customizations for it, but once you do actually buy some and try it, some of it is garbage. I won't be recommending it. Some of it is actually pretty good. So here are the best accessories for customizing your experience. So number one is obviously it's a gaming console, finding some good games to play. And a lot of this is preference, but we've seen the games library slowly growing as expected with the new console generation. A lot of my recommendations are still the same. Once you get it, you gotta play Astro's Playroom just to really get to know the controller. And I think you gotta get the Spider-Man game, the Miles Morales game, just because in my opinion, it's the most visual, immersive game on the PS5. There's a reason it launched with it. It feels like it's built for the PS5, has a pretty good storyline. I like it. Slackboy, A Big Adventure came out shortly after. It's been getting some pretty good reviews. And I've personally been playing a lot of NBA 2K21, but let's be real, it's pretty similar to last year, just with some improved graphics and a slightly different My Character story. But whatever you're into, I'll leave a list of games that have gotten some good reviews for the PS5 right below that like button. But that's not really customization, right? You install the games, you go through the UI just like everybody else. Everyone's PS5 software experience is more or less the same thing. But there are some things you can do to change the rest of the experience. So first of all, the look of the PS5 was one of the most controversial things about it at launch. Now 3 months later, it's kind of grown on me. Like I'm used to seeing it next to my TV, but maybe you don't like it. Maybe you want the actual console to look different. So that is where faceplates come in. So you may have heard by now that these pieces on the side of the PS5 that kind of make it look like an alien spaceship are just plastic and they literally pop off. So if you pull hard enough from the corners, it just pops right off from the plastic. And so if you buy a different color faceplate like this one, which is dbrand's matte black Darkplate, you can pop it on the exact same way, and now your PS5 is a different color. So this is the most fundamental way to get a very different looking console than the way it came out the box. I think it's better than a skin because it's actually way easier than installing a huge skin. And it's also impressively high quality. Like it looks and feels exactly like the same stock Sony faceplates, except for the fact that all the tiny X's and O's from Sony's pattern are replaced with tiny robots and skulls for dbrand's version. Currently it is only matte black, which is the best color, obviously. But I am kind of curious why there aren't more alternate shapes and also alternate colors. Like I think it would be cool if there was a red and a blue version. You could just do whatever color you want for your PS5. I'm not just saying this because they're a channel sponsor. They didn't sponsor this video, but I happen to really like these. So Darkplates. Honestly, the real downside is it looks like they're about as hard to get right now as the PS5 itself. Maybe they'll arrive at the same time. I don't know. On to some other stuff. So the middle plastic part, like I mentioned in the review, is still this glossy plastic, collects fingerprints and dust and eventually scratches. There are also skins for this. dbrand will happily sell you a skin for the middle part, and you can go for this contrasty look. You could go matte black everything. You could go reverse ice cream sandwich. You can do whatever you want with the colors here. But what about the controllers? These are some of my favorite controllers ever in any console. Actually, they probably are at the top of my list. And so is there anything you can do to customize the controllers? Turns out, yes. So we've all seen the black and white by now. This black piece is actually also a faceplate kind of the same way as the PS5. There's a lot more connection points, but you can remove it. Now this one's a little harder to pry off because of all those extra connection points, so you may require some assistance in the form of a thin pry tool, but this one I got from Amazon actually came with this blue pry tool, so they thought ahead. So I'm gonna link this one below. Just try not to break the plastic piece that you're taking off in case you ever wanna go back to it. But then this is the controller faceplate, and it clips on the exact same way as the piece you just took off. So I just got the sky blue color because it shipped the fastest and it looks pretty good to me, but there's a ton of colors available at that link, so you can go dark blue, you can go red or orange or gold. The world is your oyster, and it's cheap. It's like 15 bucks for a new color plastic on your controller. You know, it's not quite as cheap, but also still, I think 100% worth it, is this entirely painted fully customized controller by Colorware. So if you guys have watched the videos for a while, you've heard me talk about Colorware before. They take apart, paint, and put together all kinds of devices, and they do an incredible job every time. So what you're looking at right now is a one-of-one MKBHD edition PS5 controller they made, but you can go, if you want, fully matte black on your controller. The thing about a controller though is it gets the most wear and tear because you're holding it all the time. So matte black looks sick when it's brand new, but it might not be the way to go with plastic. Maybe a little matte red or blue or something like that. Either way, you do you. You can go on the site and go crazy with the customizer, change the body color, the front color, the buttons, make it as beautiful or as ugly as you want. It's up to you. Also, compared to the normal prices of some of their stuff, this is actually a little more reasonable. It's 109 bucks, which the controller by itself is already 69, so not bad. But then there is storage. So whenever you get a PS5, whether you get the digital version or the disk drive version, you have 825 gigs of storage before the OS install. So maybe you want some extra storage. Some games are huge. Some games sort of require you thinking about storage management. The thing about the PS5 is the external storage is only actually supported for PS4 games. So kind of a bummer, but at least if you have a library of PS4 games, you can move it to external storage to give yourself more room on the console for PS5 games. So it's not ideal, but if you want to do this, there are two versions of extra storage, internal or external. So the external drive, it's easy. You just plug in a fast compatible drive via USB and boom, you just added up to 8 terabytes of space to keep all the PS4 games you could possibly want. Matter of fact, this is an 8 terabyte drive from Western Digital. PS5 sees it when you plug it in, you can format it, it's no problem. The other option is an internal M2 SSD. Shout out to Austin Evans who just dropped his ultimate PS5 video where he goes a little crazy with it, but you can see inside the PS5, there is actually a slot for internal extra storage. And so same deal, only PS4 games, and it will require an upcoming firmware update on the PS5 to work, so it's not gonna work right away. But hey, if you wanna do it that way, that's one less cable on your TV stand. That's one less thing you have to worry about on the outside of the PS5. A little cleaner, but I'll link Austin's video below if you want to watch the destruction or modification of a PS5 to the extreme. So that's the meat of it. Then there are a bunch of not quite as useful, but still kind of cool accessories depending on who you are. So like the PS5 controller dock that Sony made. Looks like a baby PS5. It's cool and everything. It's pretty cheap. It's like 30 bucks. But it's not actually that great. Like I found it pretty finicky every time I wanted to try to line up the pins and the magnets to charge the controllers. So I was looking into alternate docks and you can get other controller docks. Turns out they're all pretty finicky trying to line up the pins to charge. This one I found here has a few more lights on it and it's a bit more stable, but yeah, it's barely better. It's barely better than the stock one, but it's still cheap, so I guess that's no problem. Then there's the docks. Yeah, PS5 docks. So they're everywhere, and they really just hold up the PS5 vertically if you're into that. And some will give you extra USB ports. So this one I'm going to link below here. It gives you some stuff if you want to plug in some lower powered stuff like controllers through the hub. And they even put some fans in the bottom to push air up through the PS5. Now, I really doubt that that's making any difference in performance at all, but it's there. So it's really just giving you an all-in-one hub for charging your controllers, keeping the PS5 upright. That's what a dock is good for. Don't expect like a bump in your frame rate or anything. Best thing you can actually do for a PS5 is just keep it in a sort of well-ventilated area. A lot of consoles are a little tight for it. You want airflow generally to be able to flow freely around it. That's the best thing you can do for performance. And every once in a while, you can take these plates off and clean it out for dust. We've heard PS4s get loud in the past, really loud, including mine. And that's just because the fans are spinning extra hard to get the same amount of air through it. So pro tip, clean it every once in a while. So you can do all that, and for a cherry on top, you could grab yourself a pair of dedicated, like really nice gaming headphones. This is part of SteelSeries Arctics, and they're really high quality. They sound phenomenal. You can get a wireless version or a version that plugs straight into the PS5's controller, so that's nice. And then you're set. That is the extent of good PS5 accessories that you should get that can actually meaningfully change your experience. So there you have it. Good luck getting your PS5. Good luck getting your hands on the accessories. All the helpful links will be below, but that's been it. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.